Right now, fears of an economic slowdown sending the markets tumbling. We'll take a closer look at the worst day on Wall Street in some 2 years.
And we're following new legislation that's been passed to protect children online. But how exactly will the new measure actually do what's intended?
You're watching News 3 Now at 5.
Thanks for staying with us at 5, everyone. Here's a live look at the Beltline tonight during rush hour. Clear right now across southern Wisconsin, but that will be changing soon.
That's right. Storms are possible for the evening hours in our viewing area, bringing hail, strong winds, and heavy rain as an alert day in the forecast for tonight. For more on the timing, let's get the first warn forecast. Meteorologist Kelly Slifka out on the weather patio. Kelly?
Yeah, it's still pretty quiet here in southern Wisconsin, but I think over the next couple of hours, especially areas to the west of Madison, we'll start to see some of these storms rolling on in from Iowa and southern Minnesota, and that'll be with us pretty much all night long. And that's why we do have a first warn alert day. Not only severe storms, but also really heavy rains, at least for some. Some could be talking about over 2, maybe 3 inches of rain. Could cause some localized flooding. All of southern Wisconsin under the gun. That'll be mainly tonight. Should be tapering off by tomorrow morning, at least the rain will. All right, we do have a flash flood or a flood watch in effect for southern Wisconsin. The area is shaded in green. Maybe not quite as much rain near the Illinois border, but everybody else does have that potential of seeing maybe a couple of 3 inches of rain. Most of the rain right now falling across northern parts of the state where it's only been in the 60s. You go south into Illinois, it's been closer to 90, and that's that transition zone that will likely fire up more showers and storms. But as mentioned, right now our weather track not picking up any kind of rain here in southern Wisconsin. But that'll change as we go through the evening hours. Well, you do have a slight risk of severe weather basically south of the Dells all the way into northern parts of Illinois. High-resolution radar not picking up anything around here. A couple of showers up there toward Camp Douglas. These are going to stay mainly to the north as we go through the evening hour or the next couple of hours. But as we go through about 8, 9 o'clock, we're going to see some of these cells start to fire up. And these do have the potential of producing some large hail and damaging winds. Right now, we just have mostly cloudy skies, temperatures in the upper 70s to near 80 at this hour across Dane County. So look for some bumpy weather as we go through the next few hours, especially areas to the west. We'll talk more about the rain and how much we can expect coming up in about 15 minutes.
All right, Kelly, thank you. Stay up to date on the weather with our First Warn Forecast weather app. It has hourly forecasts, road conditions, and the latest radar. You can download it for free in your phone's app store. Just search WISC weather.
Oh, here are those numbers. A crushing opening day of the week on Wall Street. The Dow tumbling 1,034 points. The NASDAQ falls 576. S&P 500 losing 160. That is the worst single day of losses in some 2 years. And the major drop in stock markets worldwide is furthering fears of a recession. Many markets overseas also saw big losses. Japan's Nikkei index plunged 12%. Its worst day since back in 1987. This comes off Friday's U.S. jobs report that showed hiring had slowed more than expected. And there are signs that Americans are spending less as well. But CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger notes that the average person does not need to panic.
If you are a long-term investor, take a deep breath. It is very scary, I get it. But if you're investing for decades in the future, you stay still, you do nothing. You try to maintain your game plan.
Well, last week, the Fed left interest rates unchanged in an attempt to bring inflation down further. Analysts expect a significant rate cut next month to help boost the economy. One Goldman Sachs economist is raising the chance of a recession in the next 12 months from 15 to 25%.
New tonight at 5, an inmate was found dead in their cell this morning at Waupun maximum security prison. That marks the 5th inmate death since last June. Just before 8 a.m., the Dodge County Sheriff was contacted by the prison that an inmate had died. An initial investigation showing it was self-inflicted. Life-saving measures were unsuccessful. An investigation is ongoing. Back in June, former warden Randall Hepp and 8 staffers were arrested and now face felony charges stemming from previous deaths. Hepp is scheduled to make an appearance in court for an arraignment tomorrow.
Also new tonight, the lawyer for the mother of missing 3-year-old Elijah Vu told the court she would be withdrawing from the case due to a conflict of interest, and that conflict of interest wasn't specified. Another lawyer will now be taking over Katrina Barr's case. Barr's son disappeared in February. He was reported missing by her boyfriend, Jesse Vang. Both have been charged with child neglect, but not with the disappearance. She is scheduled to have a bond hearing this Wednesday. Meanwhile, Vang is set to appear in court late next month.
The Kids Online Safety Act, which passed with bipartisan support in the Senate last week, aims to keep children safe online.
Experts say it is long overdue. Our Maddie Himes joins us now with what this legislation means for both children and their parents. Maddie?
Yeah, Susan, Eric, the passage comes with a vote of 91-3 in the Senate. Senator Richard Blumenthal of Connecticut says the safeguards outlined in the bill will allow, quote, young people to take back control of their lives.
The Kids Online Safety Act isn't the first of its kind, but it is the first of its era. Most recently, the Children's Online Privacy Protection Act was enacted during the Clinton administration. Since then, we've seen the creation of the iPhone, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Still, regulations have gone largely unchanged since being signed into law in 1998.
Really bringing some of that legislation in line with where we know digital media is today.
Dr. Megan Moreno studies the effects social media has on adolescent development.
One thing that kids do when they're online is they explore and they click around and they look for different things. And if advertisers can track what they've clicked on, it can help them to deliver content that might really nudge kids or persuade them in certain directions.
Dr. Moreno says it's that pushing in certain directions that takes young, impressionable users out of the driver's seat. So what actual steps can be taken to ensure minors are protected online? The bill will allow users to opt out of algorithmic recommendations, limit the promotion of developmentally inappropriate content, and default accounts to private, not public.
I think a lot of what many of us are hoping for in these laws is giving more agency back to kids.
Parents tell us, legislation or not, they've been active in protecting their children all along.
Make sure that they're fully educated to make the right decisions without you, because I think that's just part of parenting to begin with. Make sure that they know what's dangerous and what's safe and what's appropriate and what's not.
And it's a totally different world than we grew up in, but you have to figure out ways to let them kind of work through some of it too.
We have more details on the bill and resources for parents to practice safe social media use with their kids up right now on channel3000.com.
Maddie, thank you. And as the school year inches closer and closer, News 3 Now is happy to kick off our annual Back to School Drive.
News 3 Now, the Boys and Girls Club of Dane County holding a Stuff the Bus event, and that's where we find our Jalen Banks, who's live in front of Metcalf's Market at Hilldale with more on how the supply drive is going. Jalen?
Good evening, Eric and Susan and all of you at home. Yes, today is the first day of our back to school drive. We are stuffing the bus. Earlier today when we were out here at noon, it was really just the first 2 rows that were filled. Lots of progress has been made. We're now about 6 rows, but there's still a lot of room left that needs to be filled. We still have like 10 rows or so that have nothing in them, but fret not. We have until August 16th, which is next Friday, for the rest of the school drive. And with that, you can donate here at the bus, any location of the Boys and Girls Club of Dane County, and at our station at 7025 Raymond Road. We're taking your usuals, your pencils, backpacks, so on and so forth. We're doing this for kids in need and, just for those around the area. But for now, I'm going to send it back to you guys in studio. We'll have more later in the show. But for now, Jalen Banks, News 3 Now.
All right, Jalen, thank you. And thanks to everybody for your help to stuff that bus. The Red Cross is asking for your help to fight an emergency blood shortage. The shortage comes after heat impacted more than 100 blood drives in July, causing a loss of more than 19,000 donations. All donors are encouraged to donate, but those with type O are especially needed. Those who donate in the month of August will receive a $20 Amazon gift card. To make an appointment, visit their website or download the app. Well, we also have a link on Channel 3000.
And next tonight at 5, Wisconsin Department of Health Services confirming the first West Nile virus infections in Wisconsin this year. DHS reporting a blood donor was screened as positive for West Nile. That was in Washington County near Milwaukee. And a dead bird in Chippewa County tested positive for the virus. Although the blood donor screened positive for the virus, it's not considered a human case because they never had any symptoms. Mosquitoes spread the virus to humans, birds, and other animals through their bites.
Well, turning to campaign news now, Vice President Kamala Harris is slated slated to visit Eau Claire on Wednesday, though the specifics of her visit aren't being made public yet. Her campaign did confirm that Grammy Award-winning band Bon Iver will join her on stage, along with her running mate, who is expected to be named within the next couple of days. This is Harris's second visit to Wisconsin after she became the presumptive nominee for the Democratic Party. In late July, Vice President Harris made a trip to West Allis. And Kamala Harris will not be the only nominee in Eau Claire on Wednesday. J.D. Vance announcing he will be speaking at Wahlert International at 1 p.m. This is Vance's first visit back to Wisconsin since being named the Republican vice presidential candidate in Milwaukee last month. News 3 Now will be in Eau Claire covering both campaigns.
Well, Western Wisconsin will be the battleground for an intense primary race next week.
3 Democrats are vying to replace Republican Derek Van Orden this fall. Political reporter Will Keneally is here with more. Will?
Well, this is a pretty wide district. It covers Eau Claire, as we were talking about before, all the way to Grant and Richland counties here in our viewing area. And it's a top target for Democrats this fall.
Folks in the 3rd District are really pragmatic, hardworking people.
There will be 3 Democratic candidates in this congressional primary, and it will be closely watched as Democrats really want to take the seat back.
I think it's so important for people to be held accountable when they're causing partisan dysfunction and chaos in government.
The target for Democrats will be Derek Van Orden, a first-term Republican. The seat flipped red in 2022 after decades of Democratic control. One of those running to try and reclaim this seat is State Rep Katrina Shankland.
Over the last decade, I have helped pass over 170 bills into law, from helping clean up our contaminated water and supporting farmers with water quality initiatives to protecting first responders from reckless drivers.
Another familiar face in the seat is Rebecca Cook. She ran in the primary for the seat in 2022 and is running again this time around.
For me, I think it's important to show up. I did a 19-county district tour all throughout this vast geographic district last cycle and intend to do that.
Another candidate, Eric Wilson, is a political newcomer to the campaign. He's been touting his record on health care.
I'm the only one in this race fighting for Medicare for all or universal health care because I believe that it's a right and people shouldn't have to make the decision between their health and their finances.
Now in 2022, Van Orden won the seat by a little less than 4 points. It's a red district certainly, but right now it's one of Wisconsin's most competitive congressional districts, with the Cook Political Report labeling it a lean Republican.
One to watch. Will, thank you. And just ahead, Kelly's back. A complete look at this forecast. May see some storms ahead tonight.
And with the school year on the horizon, we're back at it, stuffing the bus with school supplies for kids who need them. We'll get an update when we come back.
Donate blood at Stoughton Health's upcoming blood drive on August 16th from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. The event will be hosted at our Community Health and Wellness Center. Sign up online at bloodcenter.org.
I'm Tammy Baldwin. I approve this message.
I'm the proud son of a single mom.
My mom worked nights to provide for us.
My mom worked 80 hours a week.
But Eric Hovde thinks if you have a single mom, you're going to be poor or a drug addict?
That is a direct path to a life of poverty. It leads to higher drug rate.
That just shows Eric Hovde is ignorant.
Come on, I'm successful today because of my mom.
I learned my work ethic from my mom, my single mom.
What is wrong with this guy?
With Sweeto Metal Roofing, you get quality metal roofs installed by the best in the business. A metal roof means no fading, no storm repairs, true sustainability, and lower energy bills.
Sweeto Metal Roofing, the last roof you'll ever need.
It's Toyota's national sales event. Swipe into end of summer fun with an exciting new Toyota. Whether you're paddle boarding in a RAV4, mountain biking in a Tacoma, or tubing with your best friends in a Camry, you'll find plenty to post about all summer long.
Right now, during Toyota's national sales event, you can lease a new Tacoma for $349 a month, or get 2.99% APR for 60 months on a new Tundra.
Come in today. Ooh, like.
Toyota, let's go places.
We wanted to be able to enjoy all 4 seasons, and patio enclosures helped us make that dream come true.
The one and only patio enclosures.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
This is America's border czar, and she's failed us. Under Harris, over 10 million illegally here. 250,000 Americans dead from fentanyl. Brutal migrant crimes. And ISIS now here.
Do you have any plans to visit the border? You haven't been to the border.
And I haven't been to Europe. I mean, I don't understand the point that you're making.
Kamala Harris, failed, weak, dangerously liberal.
Dr. Ravel is one of the best. I mean, you can't ask for any other person in orthopedics that I've ever seen, and I've seen a lot of people in orthopedics, let me tell you. Ortho team and Dr. Ravel are wonderful.
Coming up tonight at 6, we'll talk about the expansion of flood watches for southern Wisconsin and just how much rain you can expect by Thursday morning.
I'm out here for the first day of the Pack the Bus Back to School School Supply Drive. More on how you can help tonight at 6.
From damaging drought to catastrophic flooding and severe storms in every season, the News 3 Now First Warn Weather Team gives you a deeper understanding of Wisconsin's ever-changing weather with special reports that go beyond the barometer. Only on News 3 Now. You're watching News 3 Now at 5.
Welcome back. We're almost 12 hours into our annual Stuff the Bus supply drive, hoping to collect donations in school supplies. Easy for me to say. I need to learn how to talk, go back to school, for students in need.
Let's go back to our Jalen Banks, who's joined with a special guest tonight with more on how you can help kids get off to a successful school year. Jalen?
Hey, Susan and Eric. I'm joined by Eliana Boyd, who is with the Boys and Girls Club of Dane County's Education Department. Eliana, so since I've been here, it's tripled in terms of how many school items and things have been in this bus. What does that say about the community's generosity?
I really think that it shows that Madison values education. I mean, with the university being this close, it really shows that Madison wants to encourage higher education, whether that's through life or through school. And I think the amount of school supplies that we've received just shows that Madison's willing to come out and show out for those sorts of events.
Absolutely. And you're speaking of showing out, we have essentially 2 weeks, so till next Friday, to pack this bus.
Yeah.
Where can they find other information? Who can they reach out to? How can they make sure this bus gets packed?
Right, so you can join us here until 6:30, or you can come by to the same location in the Metcalf parking lot next to Target on August 16th from 6 to 6. And if that doesn't work out for you, you can also go to any of the Boys and Girls Clubs until the 22nd, where we will be where we will be holding a drive. If you want to receive school supplies, if you're someone in need, we will be having a shopping experience for you to pick out the school supplies that you specifically need.
What are some of the most common items that you're seeing so far that people have donated?
So we're seeing crayons, we're seeing markers, we're seeing paper and binders and notebooks and folders. We're seeing all of these amazing school supplies, which I know will definitely be needed and used by the students in Madison.
All right, well, sounds good. Thank you so much, Eliana. As she mentioned, we're here till 6:30, so please come out, help those in need, and let's pack this bus. For now, reporting in Madison, Jalen Banks, News 3 Now.
Yeah, let's do it, Jalen. And tell Eliana she did a great job. She's hired.
Yes.
Well done.
All right, I will.
Well done. Heavy rain is expected in our viewing area tonight. Kelly is keeping his eye on the potential for severe weather as well. Kelly, how's things looking now?
Well, right now it's actually quiet out here. We're still kind of muggy here in Madison, areas to the south, but it's quite a bit of a different story the further north you go. And they've been seeing the rain pretty much all day long in northern parts of the state. And that's where temperatures all day long have been in the 60s. You go south of that, what we call a stationary front right now, draped over the Illinois-Wisconsin border. It's in the 90s, so we're in that transition zone, and that's what's going to fuel more shower and thunderstorm development. We'll likely see some develop out of northeastern Iowa and southeastern Minnesota, and that's what's going to get us over the next few hours. So we are expecting some severe storms, at least isolated severe storms, and also heavy rain. Some locations could be talking about as much as 3 inches of rain all of southern Wisconsin. That'll be mainly tonight. A lot of this rain will continue into tomorrow morning, but it should be tapering off as we get into the late morning hours. All right, so the severe weather impacts, we're talking about wind, we're talking about hail, and also some flooding. Can't rule out an isolated tornado, especially southwestern Wisconsin, west of Madison. So the best chances will come in after dark tonight, at least in Madison, maybe a little bit sooner, areas to the west. lingering overnight, and we'll see some widespread rains after midnight through early tomorrow morning before it starts to taper off. It's going to be kind of a slow process to get this out of here, and I think the clouds will linger throughout the morning into the early afternoon hours. But it's going to be a stormy night with some heavy rain, and it's going to be turning much cooler tomorrow behind that front. It looks like pretty dry weather for the rest of the week. Look at the contrast in temperatures. It's 89 in Dubuque. We're sitting at 78 in Madison, but it's only in the 60s, even 58 at this hour right now in Ladysmith. All right, as we get toward 8, 9 o'clock, some of these storms starting to fire up off to the west of Madison. You see how they're isolated? Those typically can produce some large hail and damaging winds. That's what we're going to have to watch for just as we're getting towards sunset tonight. Moving through the Madison area by 9, 10 o'clock. Maybe seeing an isolated, stronger storm roll through. That'll be this evening. Then after midnight, more widespread rain is expected to move in. Still some heavy downpours expected. Light rain tomorrow morning. It's going to be, as mentioned, you see how that tails off. Slow to move out of southern parts of the state. And then the clouds will linger throughout the morning hours in the early afternoon. Probably not getting out of the 60s until we get into the mid to late afternoon hours, and only in the low 70s tomorrow. So quite a contrast in temperatures compared to where we've been. Now, the rainfall amounts, as mentioned, some locations could be talking about 1 to as much as 3 inches of rain, just depending on where some of these heavier rain cells decide to set up. 78 right now in Madison. You go down to Jaysville, it's 86. You go up to the north. In Watoma, it's 68, so that's that contrast that will fuel some of these storms that will be firing up here over the next couple of hours. 79 right now in Waunakee, and 79 currently in Stoughton and also Oregon. Our first warm forecast tomorrow. Some showers in the morning. It's going to be slow to move out, though, the clearing skies. Cooler. Temperatures only getting up to 70. 76 on Wednesday and Thursday. We're really going to lose a lot of the humidity throughout the week. Temperatures in the upper 70s. Overnight lows even dropping into the 50s some mornings, so giving the AC a break. The warmth does return, it looks like, next week. Along with that, we'll have more chances of some storms.
All right, Kelly, thank you. An update ahead at 5 from a story last week about a local woman taking in a raccoon she thought was injured. Experts weigh in on why that is generally not the best idea. That's next.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
Bikers need protection, not just from other drivers, but unfortunately from insurance companies too. We've been fighting for injured bikers and their families for more than 30 years. Call Gruber Law Offices today. One call, that's all.
When replacing your windows, you want them to be built by the best and backed by the best. That's what you'll get with replacement windows only available from Renewal by Andersen. When you choose Renewal by Andersen at Waunakee Remodeling, you're not getting a one-size-fits-all product. From design and sales to manufacturing, installation, and service, we own the entire process. This month only, when you buy one window or patio door, you'll get 140% off, plus 12 months special financing. Visit WaunakeeRemodeling.com for more details.
Like a bowl of cherries, life in Attic Angel is healthy and sweet. Our independent and assisted living lifestyles include newly renovated apartments, engaging social activities, and wellness support that is tailored to you. As time marches on, we promote the idea that life can always be a bowl of cherries. Attic Angel Community, the house that angels built.
I'm running to fight for an America where the economy works for working people, where you only have to work one job to pay the bills, and where hard work is rewarded, where reproductive rights are not just protected by the Constitution of the United States, but guaranteed in every state, because that's our America. And that's the America I believe in.
FFPAC is responsible for the content of this ad.
Right now, we're running our 60-60-60 sale. So when you purchase your new concrete coating, you get a $60 Visa gift card plus either 60% off installation or 60-month no-interest financing. This is one of our best deals of the year. So visit our website or call the number for your new floor today.
Not everyone knows us, but in southern Wisconsin, Illinois, and eastern Indiana, we are famous in our field. As a Sloan's technician, customer service is our specialty, whether you come to see us or we come to you. We are in the business of supporting your business, and we are highly trained to work on your John Deere equipment. At Sloan's, our loyalty lies with you. We depend on you, and we are proud to serve you. When it comes to service, you can count on us. Remember, think Sloan's first.
A little help here?
Keep it down. The noise is making them angry.
Right now, buy one window and you'll get one free. Plus, no interest until 2026.
Call 866 for Feltco.
After a serious motorcycle crash, don't trust the insurance company. Call Gruber Law Offices first. We've been representing injured bikers for over 35 years. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
You're watching News 3 Now at 5.
Now to an update on a story we brought you last week. You may recall about a girl who rescued a wild raccoon.
We want to take another opportunity to tell you some of the reasons to avoid doing the same. Our Kyle Pozorski joins us. Kyle?
Well, like we said last week, taking in a wild raccoon like the girl we featured is prohibited under state law. And we've gotten some feedback from viewers and wanted to share a few more details as to why to avoid doing this. According to the Wisconsin DNR, possession of all captive wildlife is regulated, including taking, transporting, selling, introducing, and releasing, amongst many other activities. And the only people who are allowed to do so with wildlife are licensed professionals. So in this case, it would require a person have a rehabilitation license. And we do want to thank everyone who has reached out over the past week about the story, sharing those concerns. And again, if we weren't clear before, we do not take wildlife out of the wild and follow all local and state laws.
All right, Kyle, thank you. We're back with a final check of your First Warn forecast when we come back.
We are Dane County. We are Madison, McFarland, Sun Prairie. We are Waunakee, Stoughton, Middleton, Deerfield, and everywhere in between. We are committed to being unique in supporting the value when families share the memories of family and friends at the loss of a loved one. We are Crest Funeral and Cremation Service. More than just a funeral home, we are the people you know and trust to help families before, during, and after the loss of a loved one. Learn more at crestfuneralservice.com.
How do you say welcome? With an entry door from Pella, of course. Say it with color, with class, with clarity, or with confidence. Choose from 3 materials and endless styles, plus every entry door is manufactured, installed, and warranted by Pella for years of comfort and durability. Right now, get 0% interest for up to 36 months with no money down and equal payments. Schedule your free in-home consultation at PellaWI.com.
We've all seen these ads by Senator Baldwin attacking me. She's lying to you. But that's what career politicians do when they get in trouble. The truth? I was born and live in Wisconsin. I've never run a nursing home, and of course I believe seniors should vote. The false attacks are going to keep coming because she has nothing to run on. Her record has failed us on inflation, the border, and crime. I'm Eric Hovde. I approve this message for this reason. It's time for change.
Empire's quality and customer service were absolutely amazing. The installers were so conscientious. I have and I will continue to recommend Empire.
800-588-2300 Empire.
Today.
Certain this is gonna work?
Nothing to it.
For Imprint certain?
Certainty matters. 4imprint is your home for promo gear to wow clients and inspire your team. Check out 4imprint.com.
4imprint, for certain.
If you're watching this Gerber Life Guaranteed Life Insurance commercial, there's a good chance that you're alive. And if you're not, well, this may not be of interest to you. Now, I know what you're thinking. Life insurance? I'm going to live forever. Death is what happens to other people. Well, for the sake of argument, let's assume you're wrong and that someday you won't be watching TV anymore. I know, it's not easy to talk about, so I'll do the talking. If you're 50 plus and alive, you can apply for Gerber Life Guaranteed Life Insurance with guaranteed acceptance, regardless of your health. And since this life insurance is guaranteed, you don't have to get a medical exam. In fact, you don't even have to fill out a health questionnaire. For a free quote, just call 800-387-9724. Then when you stop, if you stop watching TV, your family can use the insurance money to help cover your final expenses or anything else. For a free quote, call today, 800-387-9724. Your kids already inherited your ears, allergies, and questionable singing voice. Don't make them inherit your final expense tab, too.
Coming up tonight on the CBS Evening News, catastrophic flooding ahead as Debbie makes landfall in Florida as a hurricane. Georgia and the Carolinas now in the storm's drenching path. That and more headlines tonight on the CBS Evening News.
I'm Meryl Hubbard, and coming up tonight at 6, we're talking about a city referendum that may be on the November ballot and giving a heads up on how the public can weigh in on this decision.
I'm Jalen Banks. I'm out here for the first day of the Pack the Bus Back to School School Supply Drive. More on how you can help tonight at 6.
Making sure voters are prepared at the polls. Tonight at 6, what makes this ballot different compared to recent primaries in Dane County?
And Kelly's back, keeping an eye on things heading our way.
Yeah, so far it's quiet, but there is a potential that they may issue a watch here in southern Wisconsin here shortly. We are looking at our future tracks, 7 o'clock, some of these isolated cells popping up. Some of these may produce some hail and damaging winds. You can see that moving through the Madison area about 9 o'clock. Then we'll get to the steadier rains that'll be moving in overnight right into tomorrow morning before it starts to taper off. 70 tomorrow, that's all we can do as far as our high temperature. And you can notice the overnight lows in the upper 50s to around 60 throughout the week. Afternoon highs in the upper 70s. And after tonight, it looks like it'll be pretty quiet until next week.
All right, if needed, we'll break in on this weather and we'll have more updates in a half-hour news free now at 6. Stay tuned now for the CBS Evening News.